Evan Roe had always believed he was ordinary. He lived in a quiet residential block where every resident looked tired from work and every day felt the same. Nothing about him seemed significant. Not his job at a small organization, not his neutral preferences, not even his name. He was part of the city's invisible demographic, one of the millions who helped populate a growing metropolis, but never shaped it. But everything changed on the night he discovered the crown. It began with a parcel sent from overseas, marked with old stamps and addressed in shaky handwriting. It was from his late grandfather, who had lived abroad for decades before choosing to emigrate again to a faraway island. Inside the parcel was a strange wreath made of silver leaves, almost like a ceremonial crown. A note read, "Evan, you are entitled to the truth of our clan. Wear this only when you seek liberty." Evan laughed. Liberty? He was barely independent enough to choose dinner. But the moment he touched the crown, something stirred. A faint thrum of ancient power, something that felt like history itself trying to influence him. That night, Evan dreamed of a vast federation, a union of distant lands once ruled by his ancestors. They had never fully united. Instead, a puppet regime was installed by conquerors during a cold colonial age. His family had once held the throne, but their reign had been erased, reduced to a footnote in forgotten institutions and dusty archives of demography. The crown pulsed again, and Evan realized it wasn't just a family relic, it was calling him. The next morning, strangers appeared. They claimed to represent a global consortium, a worldwide network of scholars, diplomats, and covert historians. Their spokesman, a tall woman with an unreadable face, said, "Mr. Roe, your family once attempted to establish a nation free from racial hierarchy and ethnic division. The conquerors crushed that dream, but their influence never died." Another man added, "You must come with us. The crown chooses a bearer, and it has chosen you." Evan was stunned. "Why me? I'm just ordinary." "That," the woman replied, "is exactly what makes you unique." They escorted him to an abandoned institution on the edge of the city. Inside, walls were lined with maps showing shifting population flows, immigration waves, civil revolutions, and federal dissolutions. It was like walking through the world's hidden history. "We are trying to civilize a broken system," the woman explained, "to restore independence to places still trapped in silent chains." The crown shimmered faintly on the table, as if agreeing. Evan felt something warm, responsibility, or perhaps destiny, starting to affect him. He was introduced to the League, an association of displaced leaders, scholars, and immigrants, whose homelands had been carved apart by foreign powers. Some had lost countries, others had lost languages. One man told him, "My people fled their slum after their lands were turned into a colony. You, Evan, may be the one to help us reclaim our liberty." "But I'm not a hero," Evan protested. "You don't need to be," the man replied. "You only need to be willing." Weeks passed. Evan trained. He learned about the importance of union, the significance of shared identity, and how racial and ethnic divisions had been used to manipulate entire continents. He saw how one small organization, when properly instituted, could spark real change. Evan finally asked, "Why didn't my ancestors finish what they started?" "They tried," the woman said quietly. "But the conquerors were too strong. They dominated markets, governments, even culture. Their domination was absolute. Until now," another whispered. One night, the consortium revealed their plan, to restore autonomy to a cluster of islands still ruled by a foreign federation, using peaceful negotiation, but led by someone who symbolized unity. That symbol was Evan. He stood before them, wearing the silver crown. He felt strength, not as a ruler, but as a representative of ordinary people seeking refuge, fairness, and a future. "You are not becoming a king," the woman said. "You are becoming a catalyst." Evan traveled overseas, greeted by cheering crowds waving banners of hope. For the first time, he understood the emotional gravity of immigrants returning to ancestral soil. He understood why independence mattered, not for glory, but for dignity. He addressed the people. Liberty is not a gift given by the powerful. It is a right claimed by the ordinary. The crowd erupted. He was no longer a puppet of destiny. He was its voice. Months later, the negotiations succeeded. A new flag rose, a union of colors representing every ethnic group, every race, every forgotten voice. The islands were recognized as an independent state. And though Evan refused any royal title, the people still crafted a ceremonial wreath to honor the man who had united them. He returned home not as a ruler, but as someone forever changed. For in discovering the lost destiny of his clan, he had discovered the hidden power in every ordinary person. The power to affect the world, to influence history, and to stand for liberty when no one else dared.